So if you did not get a handout back just now that says factor by grouping, it's because you did not turn it in.
Bitch, you got the first handout or the second?
I only had to do one thing.
What's the grouping? Oh, miss, I wasn't here for whatever the previous one was. Wait, I don't even know where it comes from.
I'm surprised. Once. That's not really the same. And you don't get to do that with the Chromebook every day. So if you put it in there, it's not like it vanishes. Okay, well it's invisible. Did you crumple it up? Did you leave it somewhere? Alright. Well, it's your responsibility once it's handed to you. You want to turn it in? Why is it taking? What? Where are you at? 800? Yeah, yeah. Wait, this. I got $9. Genius. I graded that yesterday. Were you here yesterday? I graded it and I did it right back to you. Did you right here? Were you here? Let's go through this and then I can pass out your quizzes for corrections and then I'm going to give you a handout to practice these 4 methods some more. So, number 1, taking out a greatest common factor, you have to think what do 10 and 15 both divide by? They both divide by 5. And then you have to look at the variables. So if I was to break this down, it would be 2 times 5 times x times y. And this would be negative 3 times 5 times x times y times y. So far I've decided to take the 5 out. What else do they have in common? They definitely have an x in common. I'll take an x away from both of them. And they have a y in common. I'll take a y away from both of them. And then what's left in parentheses is anything I did not circle. So 2x minus 3y. This is the answer to factoring by greatest common factor. Did anybody get it right?
Right here.
Anybody?
I got it.
Anybody? Hard to get it right if you don't write it down. Extra challenging. Okay, next, so number 1 was to write the test date. Number 2 was greatest common factor. Number 3 is a trinomial when a equals 1. I would say a is 1, b is 7, c is negative 18. So I'm going to make a little table. I need numbers that multiply to negative 18 and add to positive 7. Things that multiply to 18. I got 18 times negative 1. I got 9 times negative 2. I got 6 times negative 3. I'd say that's about it. 18 minus 1 is 17. That's not what I'm looking for. 9 minus 2 is 7. That is what I'm looking for. So I'm going to go right into parentheses and say x plus 9, x minus 2. I think that might be, of the 4 options, I think that one's my favorite. I like that way even a little better than GCF. Who else likes what we just did better than number 2? Couple of people. Who likes number 2 better than number 3? Couple of people. Maybe grouping's your favorite. This one's definitely grouping because there's 1, 2, 3, 4 terms. There's 4 terms. You can do it 2 at a time. Gabe, what can I take out of the first 2? What do they have in common? What do they have in common? And then what's left in parentheses? X plus 2. And what do these have in common? The y and what's left in parentheses? X plus 2. So the x plus y goes together and the x plus 2 goes together. And that's factor by grouping. That wasn't bad. That was one of our easier factor by grouping questions. And the last one we have to do is the worst one. This one takes way longer, takes more room up on the paper, it's harder to remember. This one's the worst. A is 3, B is -4, C is -7. This method is a combo of the method in number 3 and number 4. We have to combine both of those. It's called the A times C method. So I do 3 times -7 is -21. I need numbers that will multiply to -21 and add to -4. Kaylee, what do you come up with? What multiplies to -21? -3 times 7. When I add -3 plus 7 together, I get a +4. I really want a -4. So how can I switch this around? Yeah, just change the negative. So whatever the sign is in the middle, make the bigger number negative. So if I need -4 instead, I'm just going to do it -7, +3. Then I get the -7 and that's the number I want. So now I have to rewrite the middle with these numbers that I pick. I don't get to do this because there's a big number in front and 3 in front. I have to rewrite the middle. So I keep 3x squared. Then I write -7x plus 3x minus 7. I want to switch the 3 and the 7. I'm going to switch them. It doesn't matter, but it's easier, I think, if we switch these. So I'm going to do plus 3x minus 7x minus 7. And then I'm going to GCF, greatest common factor. I think the first 2 is 3x. The second 2 is -7. My answer is 3x minus 7 and x plus 1. There it is, 4 ways to factor. We've been working on it for like 2 weeks now. If you can do GCF, if you can do A is 1, and you can do grouping, you're in a good place. That's very good. This one's the most difficult. You'll see a lot of students still struggling with this one, algebra 2. We do it a lot. All right. You're going to practice that some more with a handout. So we have to do quiz corrections. Just waiting on. But these 3, just so you know, are still open till Sunday. These online ones.